Welcome to Small Business 21st Century and today's segment of Build Your Difference. My name is Pierre Walters, and over the past 15 years, I've helped hundreds of individual entrepreneurs and business owners build successful operations, launch growth-oriented digital marketing, and establish impressive brands. One thing that has continued to surprise me is just how little planning many of us new entrepreneurs actually do. Too many new entrepreneurs focus on the shiny object, attending webinars and conferences, buying system after system, and following social media gurus. The list is endless. And while those tactics may be useful and helpful, they are not always sustainable over the long haul. What I have found is that if you really want to make your business work, you must have a plan. And while it's true that any good business idea can be turned into a profitable operation if the proper planning is done, it's also true that many businesses fail because of poor planning. While I've been in business for over 10 years, I have always had a plan. In fact, I have several plans, and I use them to guide my day-to-day activities. In this episode of Build Your Difference, I'd like to share some of my plans with you and explain why I think they're so important. You see, planning is the key to successful business growth. The first thing a new business owner needs to do is create a plan. And what is a business plan? Well, a business plan is a blueprint for the future of your company. It is your vision for how you want to grow and what you want to accomplish. It's also a way to document your goals, your strategies, and projected revenues over expenses. In the beginning, we all develop plans to help us organize our thoughts and to map out a course of action. We use them to achieve our goals, set priorities, and organize tasks into manageable chunks. Businesses and business plans are no different. They're simply a tool that we can use to achieve the goals and objectives we have set for our businesses. So, how do we start? Well, you want to start with an introduction. What is the purpose of this business plan? The purpose of a business plan is to help you develop and organize your thoughts. It's a very detailed look at where you are today and how you want to get to where you want to be tomorrow. So the first step, the very first step, is to lay out the vision. A vision statement answers the following questions. What do you want to accomplish with your business? This can be, or this can be, where you describe what you want your business to become. This goes beyond just the products and services that you're going to be offering. It is about what impact you want to have on the larger world. You got to think big picture. What will the world look like with your business in it? What major problem or inefficiency or issue will your business resolve? And for how many people? These are the kinds of things that you want to thoroughly think through and place in your introduction. And you want to set the big picture so that it's clear why we're here and where we're going. Now, afterward, you want to move into defining your business. What does your business actually do? Think about the experience that customers are going to have. What is the reason that a customer is going to call you up in the first place? You got to answer that question, and it's got to be as easily and as simple as you possibly can. What are the benefits of your business for the customer? How does it help them out? What does it solve? How is it different from what's already out there? Why will the customer choose you instead of your competitors? Now, these may sound like questions that aren't relevant on day one, but the truth is that they are more relevant on day one than they will ever be later on. And that is because Understanding exactly what your business does sets the guidelines for everything else that you do in the future. If you aren't clear about the benefits of your business and how can you possibly put together a marketing strategy that attracts your customers, how are you going to know what to charge for your services? How are you going to best allocate your time and resources to make the most money? Now, I know for some of us entrepreneurs, money may not be our primary goal. That's perfectly fine. But it's also perfectly fine if it is. What matters is that you take the time to set your goals. What are your objectives? What do you want to achieve? And how much money do you need to reach those goals? Maybe you want to pay off your house and be able to spend more time with your family. Or maybe you want to save enough money for retirement. Or maybe you just want to travel around the world. Or perhaps take your kids to Disneyland once a year. Whatever it is, make sure that you set your goals and then work towards achieving them. And in order to do that, you're going to have to do a little research. And we call this a market analysis. So, what is a market analysis? Well, a market analysis is simply a method of determining the state of a particular market. So, what is a market? Well, a market, it's the collection of people who are interested in a certain product or service. So that means that, for example, the market for clothing includes people who want to buy clothing. And if you're thinking about selling clothing, then you want to know what's going on in that market. When you do a market analysis, you're going to be learning a lot of different things that are very important to your business. You're going to learn about your industry's size and growth rate. You're going to learn about the state of your competition in your industry. You'll learn why consumers buy products and what they do with them after they buy them. You're going to learn about consumer buying patterns and trends. But the one thing that a market analysis is not going to tell you is what exactly you need to sell. Because in order to know that, you're going to need to look at the intersection of the market's trends and the problem that your business is here to solve. Where those 2 points meet is where you can create a product or service. Now, part of planning is learning to make use of your available resources. In business, your resources should grow alongside your customer growth. And initially, you may have very few resources to work with. That's normal because over time, you're probably going to end up with having quite a large number of resources that you're going to be very grateful that you've earned. You see, creating a financial plan will help you to forecast your finances and create budgets that will serve to realize your goals. For example, you may want to bring in $100,000 in revenue by the end of the year. And you can look at your available resources and you can kind of figure out how do they fit into that plan. Do you need to hire more staff? Do you need to maybe purchase some new equipment? Do you need to rent more or buy some space so that you have a place to operate? Do you need to invest in new marketing strategies? Creating a financial plan will help you to map out your finances and keep them on track with your growth. It will also help you to prioritize what investments you should allocate to your initial resources, because you'll have a clearer understanding of what comes next. Now, putting it all together, that can be very exciting. I know it may feel daunting at first, but to create or write a business plan is a very special process. And if you followed along with me up until this point, you'll see that each section is actually very logical and in turn, quite simple to put together. The key is to understand your foundation, the strategy, your unique competitive advantage, and your financial plan will all depend on how solid your foundation actually is. The stronger your foundation, the more assurance you'll be able to build upon your business plan and the future of your business. And that's why creating a business model diagram is so incredibly important. Also, there's a lot of power to be had in simply planning out your steps for success. And while we just spent several minutes working through the ingredients of a business plan, that isn't the only form of planning that will help you to achieve success. A business plan is a fantastic resource for everyone on your team and an even better roadmap for yourself. But there's another form of planning that I want to talk to you about, and that is probably the most important thing that you should consider. You see, a business plan is only part of a much larger plan, and that is called a success plan. This is a plan that will build upon the foundation of your business success and create the outline and framework for an entire life of success. We'll discuss more about that after the break. Stay with us.
Teens today take on leadership roles on the court, in the classroom, and in the community. Leadership Fairfax is looking for rising high school juniors and seniors who want to take their skills to the next level. Since 1987, Leadership Fairfax has inspired, engaged, developed, and connected with more than 1,600 leaders at all stages of their careers. This summer, learn leadership skills for college and beyond from Fairfax County's best and brightest. Begin your journey today by visiting leadershipfairfax.org.
Here we are, 2013. We all depend on technology to communicate, to bank, and none of us know how to read and write code.
The first program I wrote asked things like, what's your favorite color? Or how old are you?
I wrote a program to play tic-tac-toe.
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear on the screen.
You're just trying to make something, trying to transfer something from your mind to the computer or to a tablet. It's an experience.
The whole limit in the system is just that there just aren't enough people who are trained and have these skills today.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You know, you're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
Great coders are today's rock stars. That's it.
Welcome back to Small Business 21st Century and today's segment of Build Your Difference. My name is Pierre Walters, and over the past 15 years, I've helped hundreds of individual entrepreneurs and business owners build successful operations, launch growth-oriented digital marketing, and establish impressive brands. But you know, one thing that has continued to surprise me is just how little planning many of us new entrepreneurs actually do. Before the break, we discussed the steps that you'll need to take to create your very own comprehensive business plan. But we also learned that a business plan is just the first piece of a much larger plan for success. In fact, I'm calling this larger plan a success plan. And this involves other areas of your life. This is the plan that you're going to want to make when you're looking to build an entire life of success. Now, just like a business plan, an entire life of success starts by simply defining success for you on a personal and professional level. But this is where you're going to have to be brutally honest with yourself, and you're going to have to ask yourself some really tough questions. Like, what does success look like for me? And how will I know when I've actually achieved it? Let's take a look at a really simple example. Say you want to be the top salesperson in your company. And the first thing that you do is figure out how you're going to define success. Maybe you decide that you want to be the top salesperson at the company by the end of your first year. Or maybe you figure out that if you're not the top salesperson at the company, then heck, you'll have to try and probably find a different job, or perhaps even look for a new career altogether. The next thing that you do is ask yourself, what is it going to take for me to become the top salesperson by the end of the first year? And maybe you realize that you're going to have to close at least one sale every day, 7 days a week. Maybe you're going to have to work weekends. Maybe you're going to have to cut back a little bit on your social life and probably spend every waking hour thinking about how you're going to close sales and increase your income. That's a lot of things to consider. But they're only possible because you took the time to ask yourself what success actually means for you. Not always a comfortable question to ask. But if you're brave enough to build your business plan, then you are more than ready to build your success plan. Another example of defining success in your own life is when you decide to go after a goal that has already been achieved by someone else. Your dream might be to build the next Microsoft or Apple. Now, what does this actually mean, though, for you? You can't just say, I want to be the next Bill Gates. That's not good enough. You have to ask yourself what success actually looks like. What does it mean? Do you want to be a CEO, or do you want to be an engineer? If your dream is to build the next Microsoft or Apple, then what steps are you going to have to take? How are you going to get there? Are you a strong manager, or do you want to really just be an engineer? Do you have a business background already, or do you have technical skills that would make it easier for you to build the next Microsoft or Apple? Do you have a support system? Do you have a team? Do you have partners? Do you have people who can share the load of such a vision? Because you see, the beauty of designing your success plan is that you get to answer those questions, and you also get to make answers to these questions. Meaning that if there isn't currently an answer that leads you closer to your goal, you can go out there and you can make that answer. In other words, you can create the support system that you're going to need. You can do it, and you can do it with the help of others, but only if you've taken the time to define the journey. Now, along the way, you are going to encounter obstacles. And your business plan acts as a guide to help you and your team maneuver through the business of being in business. And just like your business plan, your success plan will be your guide to help you overcome obstacles in life that stand in the way of your overall vision. There's so many things that we can't control, so many things that are simply outside of our purview. But that doesn't mean that we lack agency. You may know, or you may not know, whether an opportunity is going to lead to an obstacle, but you can decide whether to stay the course, work towards a solution, or abandon ship and swim to shore to try again another day. All three of those options are valid under the right circumstances. That's why we need to invest in support systems. Because even if you are a self-starter, you're gonna need help along the way. This is why I recommend that when you create your success plan, you look at it from a high level, and then you break it down into 10-year chunks. This is your life, and you should have a long-term vision for it. But if you are like most people, you're gonna find that you can only handle really one thing at a time. You don't have to do it alone. In fact, you probably can't do it alone. And if you try to do it all on your own, it's it's probably going to get real difficult. You might fall apart and get frustrated, and you might even give up, because you see, a successful life is one that's filled with collaboration. And it's important to remember that. Compromise, partnership. Think about what kind of support you're going to need to tackle each goal in your life. Then, go out there and meet the people who are going to be willing to partner up with you and make it happen. Of course, in order to do that, it's going to require that you train yourself to have a positive mindset. It's going to require that you change the way that you think. It's going to require that you start believing in yourself and stop believing the lies that other people are telling you about who you are and what your future will be. I know it might sound like a lot of work, but the truth is it's not. It's a matter of will. It's a matter of promising yourself that when your thoughts drift to the negative or to the cynical, that you're going to pull them right back to the positive frame of mind that is actually going to help you move forward and not backward. Mindset is absolutely critical in realizing your life of success. And it's something that can't be taught or purchased. It's got to come from within you. The burning desire to live your best life and to do so willingly. That is what we call passion. And that is what is going to make all the difference in your life. So I want to ask you a question. What are you passionate about? Think about it. Articulate it. Say it into the space around you. Let it be clear for you and the world. Focus on that and really make it a powerful force in your life. In fact, I want you to write it down and put it someplace where you can see it every day. Use it to fuel you and refuel you over and over again. Because a successful life is a constant loop of overcoming obstacles and overcoming fears. So embrace your passion, use it to propel you forward, and let it open up the world for you in wonderful and unexpected ways. Because you deserve it, and your business plan is just a piece of your larger success plan. And you deserve it because it's possible for you. Now, on a final note, I want to leave you with a quote from a great man. I hope it inspires you as much as it has inspired me. It says, quote, "Don't be afraid of failure. Failure is only temporary, and it can be our best teacher." End quote. As you move forward in planning for your success in life, take every opportunity to plan, strategize, research, and maneuver. Don't be afraid of making mistakes, because they're inevitable and they are our best teachers. It's been my pleasure to speak with you today about something that has really made a difference in my life. I hope that you'll experience the joy of realizing your vision throughout your own life. And I also hope that you'll share your stories with me and the rest of us on the show. We love to hear about your success and the lessons learned along the way. So for more information, please visit me at www.pierrewalters.com. And for Small Business 21st Century, I'm Pierre Walters, and this has been Build Your Difference.